We have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars marketing for real estate deals, and we've tried the majority of the strategies out there. Through this, we have learned what works depending on your budget and your needs. In this training, we're going to break down the top 3 marketing strategies that you need when you're marketing to wholesale real estate. So this is the time for you to grab your notebook, lean in, shut off distractions. And with that, let's get into the show. So if this is your first time joining us, this video is part of a whole series that we're doing on marketing for real estate leads. So make sure you click up here or in the description below to see the whole playlist of how to set up your marketing list, how to pull the best marketing list, the top 10 list that we recommend, and how we pull ours. And this video is going to be exactly on what to do after you've pulled those lists. So let's cover the top 3 strategies. I'm going to go over the top 3 as well as the best resources that we use for each one of these. Strategy number 3, direct mail. Direct mail is a great strategy to use. There are some drawbacks and some good things about direct mail. The good thing about direct mail, what I like personally about it, is that if you don't have the time and you're a one-man team, you can send direct mail out and you just wait for the responses. So people that are interested or people that want to curse you out are the only ones that are going to call you. So as far as managing lead flow and calls and everything, it's a lot more manageable when it comes to that. The downside to direct mail is that it's very expensive. So it's something that if you didn't clean your list right, if you didn't make sure the addresses were done properly, if you didn't hire the right company, all of these things are going to play a massive factor in whether the direct mail pieces are landing and the people are actually getting them or they're actually bouncing and coming back to you. That's wasted mail, wasted postage, wasted everything. So there's a lot more intricacies when it comes time to direct mail that you got to make sure you have all your eggs in a row, and it gets expensive. I mean, regardless of all that, it gets expensive. Direct mail is not something that you do, one major blast and just cross your finger and hope for the best. Direct mail, I always recommend that you have a decent budget. And in this market where we are, that decent budget is anywhere between $4,000 to $5,000 a month. That is consistent mail that you can drop every single month for at least a year, because it's not always very quick. You can send out direct mail pieces, but you're not always going to get a response like that week, that day. You can, it doesn't always happen. Sometimes it could take months before anybody calls you back. So keep that in mind if you're choosing direct mail. Now, the best resource that we like, that we've tried, we've tested, is Ballpointmarketing.com. We love the company. They're really cool with what they do. A lot of custom pieces. So they do seasonal pieces. So you have your summer piece, your spring, fall, winter, all of that. They do custom pieces. They do door hangers. I mean, they have a really good system and really good custom work. They do, it's Ballpoint Marketing, so it's handwritten. So it looks more personal. They're always innovative. They're always changing. I know the owners personally. They do real estate investing themselves. So every mail piece that is put out is tested by them on deals that they are actually doing. So that's why I like the company, why I like the people that work it. So if you are going to be doing any type of direct mail, I strongly recommend that you consider a good company like them instead of just shopping for the cheapest company out there. The cheapest does not mean the best. And this is real money that we're talking about. So you want to make sure you go with the best company out there so your money gets the best reach and the best output for your investment. Strategy number 2, SMS, text messaging. This is my second favorite strategy because it's direct to the owner, right? You are texting, and a lot of people love texting. I mean, right now we are actually negotiating a whole deal and even talking about the contracts and everything through text. They haven't answered the phone once. So, text messaging is such a powerful tool to use. It's something where for a lot of you, it's more comfortable because it's less, what do I say? What if I stutter? What if I sound dumb? Through text messaging, you're able to like really think through your, your responses, how you're going to approach them, all of that. Text messaging is really good. We love it. We've been getting a lot of deals that way. It's one of our primary forms of marketing. The only downside right now with text messaging is there's a lot of regulations and restrictions that are coming up. The carriers are getting a lot pickier. They're marking your numbers as spam. So there's a lot more stuff going on. This is why the company that we've been testing and it's been working out pretty good for us is LaunchControl. So we've been using LaunchControl now for quite a few months. And what I like about them is that they're constantly working with the carriers. I don't know if they're working with the carriers, but they know what the carriers are doing and what they're flagging. So they're letting you know how you should customize your messages so it doesn't get flagged. So instead of, for example, using the word offer, you will replace the O with a 0. So by doing that, their algorithms doesn't pick up like a spammy message. So they do a lot of cool stuff like that. So I would definitely recommend check out LaunchControl if you're going to be doing text messaging. They have a whole built-in like kind of CRM in there, follow-up system, follow-up sequences. It's a really robust and very well thought out company. So definitely check those out. And the number one strategy, our most favorite strategy that we like to use, is cold calling. Cold calling is by far our favorite. I mean, the benefit with text messaging and cold calling is you're direct to the homeowner. I mean, if they pick up the phone, right, if they're responding to you, you're talking to the homeowner, which is the whole point of marketing. You need to speak to the owner of the house. So cold calling is the most direct route. It's the fastest route. If you're somebody that you're getting started and you're like, man, I really need a deal. Like I need something quick. Speaking to the owner as quickly as possible is going to get you that deal, right? Direct mail, you don't know when they're going to respond. Cold calling, you can get them on the phone. You can talk to them. If you're good at this, you have some good strategies, some good scripts, which we've done a whole series on how to speak to sellers, how to talk to motivated sellers. You can find that also below in the description. But work on your scripts, work on the way that you talk to them. But once you get good at that, you can overcome a lot of objections, a lot of reasons why they wouldn't call direct mail piece, but they will speak to you on the phone. So we love cold calling. It's fast, it's direct, and like text messaging, it's cheap. You can do a lot of cold calling, a lot of text messaging for really cheap, for a lot less than you would direct mail. Now, like I said, they all have their pros and cons. What's the con with cold calling? You got to cold call. This is not something that you say, oh, well, I called about 100 numbers. That's nothing. I mean, you're calling 100 numbers. You're not going to get anywhere. You got to call like thousands of numbers because when you skip trace a list, every time you go and you skip trace a list, you're going to get anywhere from 2 to 10 possible numbers per property. So you got to call all those numbers to figure out which phone number actually belongs to the owner of the house. So it's not something that you say, I'm just going to call 100 numbers because you may not hit the right owners at that time. So you got to make a lot of calls. You got to put this in your rotation. You got to make it a habit. You understand? So that's where people fail. And this is why we like cold calling, because not many people are willing to put in that work. A lot of people try to hire it out to some really low budget VA firms out there. And all of that, all it does is it puts you in pretty much the less competitive place that you can possibly be on when it comes time to contacting the owner. Nobody's going to be able to overcome objections and build better rapport than you. You are the one that cares. So when you're doing cold calls, you can direct the conversation. You can make sure if they're giving you these objections, you overcome them. You switch the way you're talking to them. A VA or somebody else, it's not going to do all that. You understand? So you got to make sure that if you're doing this, you are doing it first, so you know how to speak to people, you know how to develop these scripts and everything. But we love cold calling. Now, the downside to cold calling is like text messaging, there are a lot of restrictions as well. There's a lot more people that are in the do not call list. There's a lot more people that are litigious. That means that they could potentially try to sue you. Now, are you doing anything legal or illegal? Consult your attorney. We're not attorneys. We're not giving any legal advice, financial advice. But, anybody can sue anybody in the States. So be careful, be cautious when you're moving forward with this strategy. Personally, we like it, we do it, but this is something that you have to vet for yourself as to how far you want to take it and what it is that you want to do. Now, the tool that we like to use for cold calling is Call Tools. We like Call Tools. They have a whole new platform now, a whole new setup, and it's trying to comply with all the regulations and everything like that. So they're trying to stay ahead of the carriers so they are still more competitive. We love it because it's a dialer. So you upload a list and it's dialing like 3 phone numbers at the same time. So you can get through a list so much quicker because if people are not answering, then it's not coming through. And as soon as a call comes through for you, the system pauses. So you can take your call, do whatever you need to do. As soon as you're done, it continues dialing. So instead of you physically dialing each number, that system dials them for you at a much faster pace. You can get through a lot of phone numbers that way. So we personally like Call Tools. Now, for all of these 3 strategies, any of the resources, if you're looking to check them out, are below. They have discount codes. You have all this promotion, everything down below. So if you're interested in any single one of them, check them out. These are the ones that we use. That's why we recommend them. This doesn't mean that we're always going to use them. We're always testing out new softwares and new platforms. So please stay subscribed to the channel, stay in touch, because as soon as we do, we will let you know which ones we're shifting to and which ones are working better. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. There's going to be more training up here on how to do all of this list pulling, and the rest of the training is down below. So thank you all for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.